Hey game fans, we're back with another unboxing video. Today we're going to play What's in the Box. And if you can't guess by looking at it, today is a box from War Cradle Studios. This is the Wild West Exodus Posse set for Armored Justice. Now this is part of what's in the box, but this is the important part for what I consider. We've got our 5 key figures. We've got the entire resin kit for Morgan Earp, who would be the boss of the Posse set. We've got 3 UR-30 Lawbots. And then we've got a UR-31C heavy Lawbot with the giant cannon. Now the bottom 2 frames are him, his giant cannon, his arms, and his hat. We've got the 2 smaller Lawbots on the side, the 2 UR-30 Lawbots with their gun arms. Then we've got the UR-30 with the double pistols in the separate bag. Then we've got Morgan up top with his entire body on 1 frame. Now as you can take a look from seeing these are really good resin sculpts. We've got a little bit of flash and clear off on Morgan's gun barrel, but otherwise everything looks good. The little bag up top are the hats for the Lawbots. As you can see that from looking at the heads, they look really good. There's a little bit of cleaning to do, but these are not bad. They're not going to take a lot of work to get ready to paint or play on the tabletop. Now these are the resin models that come in the box. We also have a couple other things that come in this box, so bear with us for just a second. Here are the 2 canine gun dogs that come in plastic for the set. Now these are very, very well sculpted. They are it's the exact same sprue that comes in the Gunfight at Red Oak starter set. So if you're familiar with that set, you've seen these models before. They're put together the same way. Basically, this entire frame is this dog. This entire frame is this dog, except for the guns on top are universal across both dogs. You can put either one on either dog. We've also got a bag of bases. The two oblong bases are for the gun dogs. The larger base is for the UR-31C heavy Lawbot, and then the medium-sized bases that come inside are for the rest of the dudes. Those are the models that come in this box. We've also got some other things that come in here. Specifically, you're going to want these because they basically let you play the game. We've got the Unit Common Rules card. And these are basically rules or traits that are shared by everyone in the game. So you're not going to see them reprinted on a card, and I'll go over that in just a second. So we've got Unit Common. And then we've got more rules on the other side just in case. We've got the Lawman Faction Armory, in case you're running a lawman who have the option to take special guns. These are what all their guns are, the type of weapon it is, the range of it listed in inches, the pierce, which is its ability to shred through armor, the rate of attack, so if it's a gun that has multiple shots, it'll tell you right there how many attacks you get to make with it. The qualities are any special oddball qualities that occur that the gun may have, and those are covered in the Wild West Exodus rulebook. If you roll a critical, there's a critical effect that may happen with some of those guns, and those are listed right there. Again, the actual explanations are listed in the rulebook, and then we have a cost for whatever they cost to add to whatever unit there is. On the back, we also have the Lawman Faction mounts. On the off chance you are playing with a unit that has the Wrangler special rule, you can take an extra mount. For example, you can take an Interceptor, an Iron Horse, a Horse, or a Black Hoof. These will modify your point cost, but give you extra special rules, as shown on the card. The weapons that they may have on them are listed down below. We have our conditions card. Now this card is very handy because it tells you there are tokens that you play this game with, and these identify what the tokens actually represent. There are 2 positive conditions, on the lookout and hunkered, and then there's a yeller check, in case you have a unit that falls under that rule. On the back we have the negative conditions, as listed: disordered, hazard, and stunned. And I'll put up a link to the, so you can actually look at these cards by themselves separately. And there'll be a little thing at the end of the video where you can just click through a little slideshow of these cards and the cards that I'm about to show you. Now the other cards that come in the set are, this is the Posse set. The Posse card. Now the Posse card is handy because this is how you build your play set for whatever you're doing for Wild West Exodus. You have one boss. In the case of this set, it is Morgan Earp. He is the boss, and I'll go over that on his card in a minute. But this lets you figure out what you need to do. Each of the little slots that are the cylinders of the revolver tell you what are 6 slots you can take units of. And then the actual bullet, the chamber numbers, tell you what can go in the bullet. So in slot 1, you can bring up to 2 lawman face units. In slot 2, you can bring a lawman face unit and or a lawman hands or a lawman support unit. You can do the same thing in 3. 4 is either a lawman face or a lawman hands unit. 5 is a lawman face or a lawman hands unit. And 6 is a lawman face and or a lawman support unit. Now, those are the 3 categories of units you'll have in this game. Faces are minor characters. Doc Holliday is a face, for example. Hands would be, for example, the law bots are hand units. The support units are heavier, like vehicles or other things that are not necessarily, they're not troops and they're not special characters. So they fall into that weird little oddball place in the game. This is the generic Lawman faction set. Now, because you're playing with Morgan Earp, you can run the Armored Justice theme posse instead, and it has a whole different set of things that you can take in it, as you can see. So, for example, you can take a Lawman Automata unit in the first 3 slots. In slot 4, you can take a Lawman Automata unit and or a Lawman support unit with the vehicle special rule, or with the vehicle trait. In 5, you can take a Lawman Automata and or a Lawman face unit. And at 6, you can take a Lawman Automata unit and or a Lawman support unit with the vehicle trait. So you can bring up to 2 vehicles, you can bring up to, or a face, and 3 Lawman Automata units, or you can bring 6 Lawman Automata units. And basically, those are any of the units that have the Automata keyword. And the other thing that they do, because you're running this faction, is they do not have the tasked rule, which we'll get into in a minute when we actually look at the cards for the units. So let's look at the boys. Okay, first up, we have Morgan Earp, who is the boss of your posse. He's the guy who the entire posse runs around. As you can see on his card, Morgan has a fortune of 4, which means he can spend 4 of his chips to activate special abilities throughout the course of the game, throughout the course of a turn. My apology. He has the boss, lawman, human, male, special, and tombstone traits. Tombstone is an interesting keyword because it kicks off of his brother Wyatt's posse, which shows up in the Gunfight at Red Oak starter set. Morgan costs you 205 points to bring. He has the unique trait, which means you can only field 1 of him in a game. That symbol in the top right corner is his faction, Lawmen. There are his 6 stats, and then we have his weapon descriptions, his weapons shown below. He's got the baton, he's got the galvanic discharge, which is a ranged weapon, he's got bionic arm, which is a close combat weapon, and then he's got an electro carbine, which is his actual long-range gun for the day. Everything else he has is a close-range weapon. Now, for his traits on the back, he's got the following. He's got the unit common rule. It consists of him. The unit is unique, and you can only have 1 included in the army, which we know. He also has metal, largesse, target priority, and durable. He also has the special rule shown on the card. He has Tin Man, which applies with friendly lawmen. He's got Dead or Alive. He's got Headhunter, and he's got Tesla Masterwork. And those are his four specific characteristics. We'll actually do an article about this posse set in a couple of weeks so you can see what they look like, and we'll go over how they play on the table and what you can do with them. But that's Morgan by himself. Then we've got two cards for the UR30 Lawbots, which is fine because you can take them. We'll go over them in a second. So as you can see, they have the support, the lawmen, the machine, and the automata keywords. So weapons are shown. Their point cost is 55 for 1 model. Now, as you can see on the back, they have the following traits. They have a unit of law bots consists of between 3 and 6 models. The minimum size unit is 3, which costs you 165 points, and you can add up to 3 models for an extra 55 points. So if you buy more boxes of these, and they do sell them separately, you can add more law bots to your groups. They have the Tin Man special rule, which is common to all lawmen, and then they have Dead or Alive. And those are the law bots. The heavy law bot, which is basically a giant support gun version of the regular law bot, has support, lawman, machine, automata. It costs 120 points. Stats are shown on the cylinder, and then those are its weapon options. Now, its common rules, it's a unit of 1 model, and it has metal, the quick and the dead, and durable. It also has Tin Man and Dead or Alive, like pretty much everything else we've seen in this set so far. Finally, the last character card, the last unit card we have in the box are the Canine Gun Dogs. The Canine Gun Dogs have the support, lawmen, machine, automata, and canine traits. Each gun dog will cost you 60 points, and they come standard with steel jaws and a Gatling gun, though the Gatling gun you can swap out for either a flamethrower or a grenade launcher. And the traits they have on the back, they have a canine unit consists of 1 to 6 models. The minimum cost for 1 is 60 points, and you can add up to 5 more dogs for up to 60 points each. The unit has the following traits. It has durable, sure-footed, and tasked. And it has special issue. Any model can replace a ranged weapon with a weapon from the special issue section of the faction armory at the indicated point cost. So yeah, you can swap out their Gatling gun for either a flamethrower or a grenade launcher. Now the important thing that is discussed here is that if you have the full Posse set, you can ignore the tasked special rule on your units. And what tasked means here, as we see in the unit common rules, is all models in the unit must target the same enemy unit in an action. If the target is destroyed, the remaining models lose their action. So if the law bots, say, start shooting at Jesse James and they manage to somehow kill him with the first or second law bot, you can switch targets with the other 3 or 4 who are in the unit. So instead of having them all just open up on one specific target, you have the choice to target and then move along as you need to. It opens up options with the robots and makes them a little more dangerous in this particular set, and it encourages you to take more robots because the Canine Gun Dogs and the regular law bots have the task special rule normally, which means you might not necessarily want to have them open up at specific light targets. But this encourages you to do so because you can just keep shooting. If you kill one thing, you can move on to the next. You'll also find in this box a Welcome to the Wild West Exodus starter card, which will look probably something like this. It's a great big hello from our good friends at War Cradle Studios. And then the other thing that on the back, it has a little bit of an intro, all the downloads for the version of the rule book and additional resources, the unit cards and the adventure and action decks. Now these cards are version 1.0, which is indicated underneath the cylinder, which you can see on the Lawbot right there. Now the current version of the game is 1.08, so there might be changes between these cards and the official ones, and you'll want to use the most recent printing of those cards. But again, you can find those for free on the Wild West Exodus site, including the rulebook. And here's the rest of the card from our good friends at War Cradle. Now, this is not sponsored by War Cradle, but if they'd love to sponsor us, we'd be more than happy to have a conversation with them about it. If you like this kind of a video, leave a like for us. If you want to talk to us about it, you can give us a comment. You can follow us on Twitter at Zardoz Industry, and we'll be back with an article on how they play on the tabletop and what you can do with this unit in a couple of weeks. Keep looking at the channel for more updates and more videos like this. If you like this video, let us know. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you next time. Game on, game fans.